So this is the exam question, June 2005, question 7, one of the questions towards the end of the paper. So we start off with this bit here, show that. Okay. Whenever you see those words in the exam, you need to make sure that you're going a little bit overboard with your working out because they've given you the answer here. So they want to make sure that you know how to get there. The advantage of this is that if you can't find the answer to part A, you can still have a go at doing part B. So the first thing we need to do is simplify this down to try and get it in this form. They've given you a little hint here because their answer is written as indices, so we know that we need to be writing this in index form. So I'm going to change it straight away. You can change it later if you want to. That doesn't matter, so you can work with the square root if you wanted to. But remember, the square root gives us a power of a half. And because I'm squaring, I've got two brackets to write down. So I'm just dealing with the numerator. I'll deal with the denominator in a minute. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then I get 3 times minus x to the power of a half. Minus x to the power of a half times 3. Minus times a minus makes a plus. X to the power of a half times x to the power of a half gives me x to the power of 1. I'm just adding those indices together. So we've got 9 minus 6 x to the power of a half, because I can combine those two terms there because they've got the same power on the x, and then I've got a plus x at the end. So that's the first bit dealt with. Now we've got this square root of x. So you can either think about it as dividing, or we can write it as x to the power of minus a half. Minus because it's a reciprocal, half because it's a square root. And I want to multiply that into the polynomial that I've already written down here. So when I do that, I've got 9 x to the power of minus a half minus 6 x to the power of 0, because I'm adding those two powers together, plus x to the power of a half, because once again I'm adding the two powers together, so 1 add minus a half gives me a half, which gives me the answer that they are looking for in the question. Before you continue, do check that you've got the right answer, because you'll be surprised how many people at this point would then make a mistake and use their version of the answer. They will not give you follow-through marks in this bit if you're using your answer here. Okay, so it's really important that you are using this when you're doing your exam question. So the next bit is like the last examples that we've just done. So we've been given dy by dx equals this. They want you to use this instead. And what we want to do is find y in terms of x. That's exactly the same as saying find the equation of the curve, or integrate this, or evaluate the integral of this. So there's lots of different ways that they can ask you this question. But what we're doing is y is equal to the integral of 9x to the power of minus a half minus 6 plus x to the power of a half with respect to x. Now, it's important at this point that if you haven't been able to expand this out, or you've made some mistakes, that you still have a go at part B, because the first part was worth 2 marks, but this is worth 6. Okay, so it's really important that we still try and continue, because we want to pick up as many marks as we can. So when we're integrating this, we've got y is equal to 9x to the power of a half, add 1, divide by the power, minus 6x plus x to the power of 3 over 2, add 1, divide by the power, plus constant. So we've found our general solution. So we've got 18 x to the power of a half minus 6x plus 2 over 3 x to the power of 3 over 2 plus c, and that's our general solution. So there's marks for getting that far. It's always worth simplifying this down if you're having to use your equation further in the question, just because it makes it easier for you. Now we want the particular solution, and they're the coordinates, they're written in the question. So we've got y equals 2 over 3 and x equals 1. So when y equals 2 over 3, x equals 1, so 1 to the power of half times 18, minus 6 times 1, plus 2 over 3 times 1 to the power of 3 over 2 plus c. I'm going to have to do a little bit of work with fractions here. So we know we've got 12 plus 2 over 3. Remember, when you're adding fractions, you need to make your denominator the same. So this is the same as 36 over 3. So I get 38 over 3 at this point when I add them together. Remember, this is non-calculator, so make sure that all the basic techniques, you can remember how to do them, because you don't want to be able to integrate and then mess up on basic numeracy. Ready? To finish this off then, I need to subtract this over here. So 2 over 3 take away 38 over 3 gives me minus 36 over 3. And that gives me the value of c. We've been asked to find y in terms of x. That just means that you've got y equals. It's making y the subject. So we need to write out our particular solution. And that is when c is equal to minus 12. So it's what we integrated with a minus 12 on the end. And that is the answer to this question.